Hi everyone, Tony from Mac the Movies here, and today we're going to be talking about the 1986 musical remake of Little Shop of Horrors, which I believe is your favorite movie.
Yes.
We're going to talk about like all the things we love in it, and then we're going to decide which ending was the better ending. That's right, it has two. Let's talk about it on this episode of Talk About Tapes.
Talking about tapes.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just enjoying one of my favorite adult hobbies, playing video games. What game am I playing? Oh, just this little game that's free to play. You might have heard of it. You know, it has millions of players worldwide. You guessed it, Raid Shadow Legends. My friends and family are always telling me, Tony, stop giving us Raid Shadow Legends lore. This isn't the time or place. And I usually say, I don't care if we're at a funeral. I need to tell you about the new faction, the Sylvan Watchers. These guys are super protective of their home in the Mistwood. Don't catch yourself cruising in the east end of Teleria because they're up to no good. They aren't alone either. They've teamed up with their neighbors, the Shadowkin and Dwarf factions, and became the Narisan Union Alliance. The champions in this faction are some of the coolest yet. I mean, look at this guy, Dudan the Runic. He's like a big ball of blue energy surrounded in skulls. I'm definitely going with this guy. Raid is doing a Champion Elect event now until February 10th. You can vote on your favorite starter champion by going to my link below and copying your in-game player ID to championsselect.plarium.com. You can get the opportunity to win in-game and real-life prizes, even an Amazon gift card worth up to $1,000. Only new players from the US can win a prize. I like to think we're all winners because this month, if you open Raid 7 days before February 20th, you get everyone's favorite wrestler of all time, Ronda Rousey. If you haven't started playing Raid yet, click the link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen. You'll get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free champion, Shanaru, 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 epic skill tome. Thanks, Raid Shadow Legends. Hello, Jess. Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. I'm going to talk about this wonderful movie that we all love.
Yes.
I guess we'll talk about our little personal history with it. I'll go first. I was hanging out with my grandfather. We went to the famous Brantwood video where a lot of these tapes came from. And he was just showing me movies and stuff. We were trying to pick something to rent. And I was like, what's this? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's a musical movie about a plant that eats people. And I was like, oh, I'm sold. The guy from Little Giants? How could it go wrong? And that was enough to sell me. He put it on and all the songs got stuck in my head. And I think I watched it like 3 times that weekend. I was I loved it. I really like this movie.
It's such a good movie.
It's so much fun. And it was really cool. Like, I'm not the biggest musical guy, but like the songs were fun. The special effects were great. The puppeteering was great. The comedy is so like top notch.
It's so funny.
And loaded with freaking actors.
I know, like the cast is so stacked for no reason.
Yeah.
Like Rick Moranis, Steve Martin, Ellen Green.
Yeah.
I mean, not the biggest actors, but still.
No, but she was a great choice.
But cameos from Jim Belushi,
John Candy.
John Candy, and a bunch of other people.
Bill
and I'm just
Murray.
like, oh, huh?
Bill Murray.
Yeah, so I got really, really into it. I've watched it like a million times since then. Whenever it's like on stream and I'm like, oh, well, I gotta watch this. It's a Little Shop of Horrors. It's on.
Yeah.
When did you find out about this film?
I found out about it by watching a YouTube video for the song Feed Me. Because it popped up around that time.
What were you searching?
It was on my For You page. Like, I was just like, it just said feedme.mp4 or something like that. I was just like, all right.
Back when thumbnails
But I
and
just see
titles
like
used to be
I just see
simple.
this plant that's just like, and I'm like, oh, I want to see what that is. And around that time, my brother and I's favorite movie was Ghostbusters.
Okay.
And we're like, it's that guy. The guy gets turned into a dog with Sigourney Weaver. And they're singing. I just found love because like the way the plant moves and sings.
Yeah.
It took me forever to watch the whole movie because every time I would be like on Sci-Fi or like say it was on Sci-Fi, I tried to record it.
Oh.
Never did. But when I finally watched it, I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And then I learned more about the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I did a whole like.
You went to the musical recently, right?
No, I went to Beetlejuice.
Oh, you went to
Broadway.
Beetlejuice.
God, I wish I did.
But both movies produced by Geffen, the Geffen Company.
Hey, segue. No, my high school did it, and it wasn't very good.
Oh.
I mean, some of the people that were good. The guy saying as the plant was like, "Feed me Seymour." I'm like, energy.
Yeah. So how did you find out about this play or this movie?
Well, I guess I found out about the play first over the movie because 11 years ago, when I was a junior in high school, we did a high school production of Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh.
And not to brag, but I was cast as Seymour.
Yay.
So I was the lead actor in the play.
Pretty good.
Now, it's a high school production, so with rose-colored glasses, I think it's very well done.
Well,
I mean, I bet you yours was better than mine because for my high school, they only casted like 8 people. They didn't have many background people. And the orchestra, they normally had like the students be the orchestra. They bought like a bunch of adults to be like, hey, come in, can you play guitar? And I'm like,
Well, the music was probably really good then.
it was, but I'm like, that's not that.
Well-
there are people I know in this school that can play guitar just as good as these guys.
Well, here's the good news. Warner Brothers doesn't like this channel very much, and they like to copyright claim things, like Jason
Boo.
X, which is one of our biggest reviews of last month, and they copyright claimed
I'm sorry for adding that in YouTube. It's a great scene where she gets smashed.
You can
with the ice.
put 2 5-second clips in. You can't put them back to back from the same scene because YouTube thinks it's the same.
It's
clip.
not YouTube.
It's fine.
Yes.
not
So luckily, whenever we talk about a song, we could just cut to Ian's play because I got a copy of it.
Hooray!
You know Warner's still gonna try and like copyright somehow.
No.
There's gonna be some like
Mute
conversational
the
claim or
movie
something.
and put the high school.
No.
I doubt the
he's
high school will sue us, but the
Probably
movie.
sounds just like Rick Moranis. I haven't watched it yet.
Better, don't worry.
Oh, better. But they'll be like, that's really good. We got copyright. I know they will.
Now, before we get into the actual film, has anyone seen the original?
The 1960 version?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
I've only seen
Yes.
it once.
Yeah, I actually rewatched it yesterday. First time in a while.
Much different.
Very different movie.
It's-
Made in 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Although apparently they did a thing of reshoots. But apparently people say it was made on a bet to see if they can do it in 2 days. That is not the case. Turns out like the film industry was changing some like rule about actors and royalties, and like Roger Corman wanted to pump out one more movie before that rule went into effect.
Fair.
So he shot this movie in 2.5 days, and it's filmed like a sitcom. It doesn't really look like a movie, pretty much. But
The one scene that sticks out to me is the prostitute chasing around Seymour.
yes,
Like he's running around the town. She's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "No." And then like she pop up out of nowhere and be like, "Are you sure?"
it is a
It's
funny.
the hard sell.
It is a funny movie in its own right, but I could see like why people thought like there was something there, and then I guess they made this Broadway musical version
Yeah.
that got popular enough to do this, and Frank Oz directed this, the voice of Yoda
Wow.
And Fozzie
from
Bear.
from the hit.
That's the more important person.
Yeah.
From what?
Fozzie Bear.
And Fozzie Bear,
The Muppets.
and but he's Yoda from the hit film The Last Jedi and Attack of the Clones. Anyway,
All right. Sure.
at least he was a puppet again in Last Jedi. I guess we'll give him that.
I mean,
True.
So yeah, let's talk about this wonderful film we like. Talk about all the things we like in it, and at the end, we'll break down both endings. I don't think a lot of people knew about the other ending. Till,
I
like,
didn't know
way
about it
later.
until later, and then
Yeah.
I got the director's cut. I'm like, oh, this is
yeah, because I knew about the original ending, because the original ending is what the play ends
But the
with.
Yeah.
play is,
But
yeah.
I didn't know that they actually filmed the same ending for the movie.
Yeah.
But
Let's just say the test.
And I actually, I was watching a little
Yes,
of the
they were.
director's cut. I forgot that they released that officially because last time I saw the like deleted ending and whatnot, it was like all black and white grainy footage.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't remastered it. So yeah, it's cool to finally have that version available.
It's much better in HD.
Yes. Anyway, the movie opens with 3 girls singing in the rain about the theme song for the film.
They never get wet.
Yeah, they never get wet. Everything's raining around them. But yeah, they're all like, hey, this is Little Shop of Horrors.
If
This
you-
is the movie.
yeah, if
I
you
think every
don't-
movie should open like that.
If you don't know this movie, you know the song. Everybody's heard
Yeah.
this song.
But I feel like every movie should open with that, right?
Yeah, 3 girls dressed way better.
Just saying
than
what
everybody
movie
else
you're
in
watching.
in that neighborhood.
I think it's a great way to open up the movie.
Yeah.
I can just imagine watching like Schindler's List.
How did, God damn it! I was sitting there. I was gonna let you guys guess, and then I was go Schindler's List, but then you beat me to it. Yeah, that'd be great. Schindler's List.
I mean,
It's about the Holocaust.
The list belongs to Schindler. It's his list.
But there's before the song happens, there's like the scroll, like the Star Wars scroll. Frank
Yeah,
Oz
there's a Star
sold
Wars
that, saying just like I forget the whole thing. I used to know it by heart, but it's so long. It's just like,
accused, Jodie Foster's on a pinball machine. The accused. that was a little rough.
anyway, the whole scroll just says like, oh, there's a plant, there's a creature that's evil.
Yeah, there's this weird narrator. The original film had a narrator that were like the 2 detectives that you like forgot about. They show up through the movie sporadically, but they're narrating all of it. But yeah, after this, the narrator just disappears.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was thrown in later in post.
That had to have been.
That happens a lot with movies where like the audience is gonna get
Well,
it. Can you like put a thing in the beginning?
No, they do that in the musical
Oh, okay.
before the curtains rise.
Yeah, they have like
Yeah.
like the omniscient voice. Like my
Okay.
stage manager did it
An
in
early
in our
year of a
version.
decade, not too long before our own.
Yeah.
I remembered it.
Sorry, I'm thinking of
The human
I'm
race
thinking of
suddenly
more-
encountered a deadly threat to its very existence, and then I forget what.
I'm thinking of more inappropriate
threat-
musical numbers to movies. Sorry.
That's it. And this threat occurs, like most threats often do, in the seemingly most innocent and unlikely of places. I nailed it, not really.
So, they are on Skid Row in New York
Looks like New York.
because the original
No
was
offense, New
L.A.
Yeah, the movie was L.A., but then the musical they changed it to New York because
but they still call it
Broadway.
Skid Row.
That's the song.
There's a song. Down on Skid
Yeah, but
Row.
like that's weird because the original actually is on Skid Row and there is a Skid Row in Los Angeles.
Maybe Skid
I've been
Row.
there.
Maybe Skid Row at the time, like to film there, was a bit too.
I guess it's become like a
It's just kind of like a term of
Yeah, it
like,
became
this
like a
is
term.
not a good area to
Yeah.
live in
Yes.
because of the original's in Los Angeles, but
Yeah.
Yeah, literally the scene, like the beginning of the movie, I wrote here, like the universe exists in a dirty puddle on Skid Row. Who knew? Because like after the scroll, it's just like bottle and puddle. And I'm like, oh, the universe is there.
But yeah, we meet our main character Seymour.
The best actor in Hollywood.
It's high praise for Rick Moranis.
Hey,
it's hard working.
yeah,
Wow, I can't believe you're saying that in front of another Seymour.
I know.
in Hollywood. I didn't say the best actor in here.
You'll never make it, Ian. That's what I just heard.
Same.
But I heard she said you'll never make
dreams
it in
are
that
dashed.
town.
I'll make it on Skid Row.
The best actor in Pennsylvania. There you go.
But yeah, he works for Mr. Mushnick.
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 Mushnick?
In the flower shop. He's like he's kind of like an orphan.
Yeah, he's not adopted.
They got rid of his hypochondriac mother from the original. They
Yeah,
tossed her out.
which I think that's a good removal for the musical. It just
Yeah.
streamlines it a lot more, just having Mr. Mushnick.
There's one character
Just
I
a
wish
guy.
they included, but they name drop her. But yeah, he works in the flower shop. He lives underneath it. We learned that Audrey, also works at the flower shop, and she's getting beat up by her boyfriend.
Fun
Played
fact
by-
about Audrey 1.
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend played her in the musical, and we were already broken up at that point. So that was cool.
Well, fun, I guess.
And you were able to act through that.
Act through the pain.
You know, it's dedication like that I think will make a celebrity. But Jess said you'll never make
That's true.
it. So you
All right,
just crush those dreams, Ian.
I'll say best actor in Hollywood at the time.
Okay.
There we
okay.
go. There we go.
And Rick,
Also, just Hollywood.
Rick Moranis is back now. You can see him in commercials with Ryan Reynolds or getting punched in the
I knew you were gonna
sidewalk.
say that.
But he's back. He's back. He disappeared for a while, and now he's back.
I think I'd be like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
My mom apparently like roller skated with him in New York in the 90s.
Good for her. I guess.
She was
Very
like,
specific.
he was roller skating with his kids, and I was like, hey, my son loves your movies.
So was she also roller skating?
Yes,
Like next to him with his children?
I guess so. They were in the park rollerblading, roller skating.
That's not weird.
That's a story she tells me. Maybe my mom's a liar.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know these things.
I was going to say, fun fact about the actress who plays Audrey 1, Ellen
Yeah.
Green. She was the original Audrey in the original musical.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because
Yeah.
there's that reminds me of Rocky Horror, where like Tim Curry and Meatloaf were in the original musical, and they made it into the
Meatloaf was in
movie.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellen Green's really good.
Great choice. The other options they had were Cyndi Lauper, and Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
That was a rumor for Barbara Streisand.
I don't think
but
Barbara-
they wanted to go for Cyndi Lauper, but I think they made a good choice.
Barbara Streisand, I don't think would have worked. Cyndi Lauper would have been too distracting.
It would have been like, that's Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, the whole time would have been like, that's Cyndi Lauper.
I think they made a good choice casting.
Yeah, like I get that they both sing, and I get that's why they would want them, but yeah, no,
they made a good choice with Ellen Green. Okay. I'm so
and
sorry.
Ellen Green also played a prostitute gets shot in a bathtub in Leon the Professional.
Wow.
She's listening to her headphones, and Gary Oldman kicks open the door and just shocked them.
Headphones in a bathtub?
She looks exactly like she did in this movie, but she doesn't use the voice. So I had no idea it was the same character for years.
You showed me a picture. Her hair's not like as curled. She doesn't have as much
Yeah, but she looks kind of like, I remember watching.
Still like the same face.
I remember watching The Professional being like, that looks like the girl from Little Shop, but obviously it can't be. Where's her voice? I was a little unaware of how acting worked. Anyway.
Duh.
Unlike you, a great actor. Well, not according to Jess.
Of
course.
Yes.
So everyone on Skid Row sings about how Skid Row sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
They are all miserable and they all want to die.
Yeah, but they all had time to choreograph this musical number.
They all had time to choreograph the musical.
Well, what else are they gonna do on Skid Row?
Die.
And I will say,
somehow,
it looks better than the real current Skid Row.
Yikes.
And according to my friends in LA, the current real Skid Row looks better than it did 20 years ago. So,
but are they breaking out into song? I don't think so.
No.
You know, Ian, when I walked briefly through it,
now.
because I was curious, I'm like, is it just a quaint name or is it like an actual shithole? And I was like, let me go check for myself. Ian, there weren't a lot of people singing on Skid Row. They were
But there was a lot of dancing.
Was there a flower shop?
I mean, not that I recall.
Damn it.
There was a lady laying on the floor picking at the cement.
Maybe she was...
Public Works.
Maybe she had little things down there that she was making her own music.
I'm sure that's what she thought.
Yeah. Maybe she saw something down there.
But no, it was actually kind of sad. But anyway.
In this song, we also learn about more of like the characters.
Yeah, we learned a little bit about each character.
This is like the first, outside of the opening song number, this is like the first big like musical number in the show.
Okay.
Where it just kind of gets the gist of what the story is. Mm-hmm. You got the introduction of the characters, you get the introduction of the Skid Row, kind of the motivations and everything.
Uptown, you catered to 1 million boys.
I was on stage on the side for like 10 minutes just sweeping in the dark. In my version, because I'm on stage because he comes in at one point, and it's a high school production, just a stage. So instead of me coming from off stage, I'm just standing there with a broom for like 10 minutes, just doing this motion over and over again.
I do like the line, he calls me a slob, which I am.
And he stepped in a puddle.
Someone who has been called a slob many, many times over the last 4 or 5 years.
You talking about Mushnick? That's why I never understood. I'm like,
yeah, Mushnick. Mushnick's really mean to him in this.
It's like it's tough love, you know?
No. Mushnick reminds me of Watto from Star Wars.
That seems a little racist.
Where it's like, well, no, we're like this young person works for him and he mistreats him, but he also.
So is Seymour? What's his midichlorian count? Did he just get birthed? Like how Anakin's mom didn't just was born one day.
I was an orphan. My mom had a virgin birth.
Man, if there was
I'm here to save the galaxy or something.
I'd like to see a sequel of this movie about that. But it will obviously be a sequel from the theatrical cut.
Yes. So, Mr. Mushnick, he goes to close the shop. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with that name. Mr. Mushnick.
It's literally pronounced how it's spelled. Mushnick.
Mushnick. Mr. Mushnick goes to close the shop, and then Seymour shows him his amazing plant that he found.
Strange and unusual new plant downstairs.
And I actually, this is like, watching this as a kid, I'm just like, this joke is great. I'm like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's like, if you put it in the window, people will say, what is that strange and unusual plant? And then right on cue, say, what is that strange and unusual
That was
plant right there?
Christopher Guest.
I couldn't help noticing that strange and interesting plant.
That was Christopher Guest.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
He was the first guest star. Also, when he says the name of the plant, he's like, I call it Audrey too. Audrey makes like this little squeak. She goes, I can't even do it. She's like, it's
yeah,
like a little whistle.
In the original was Audrey Jr., but now it's Audrey 2.
They made a cartoon in 1990 in the 90s.
You were telling me about this cartoon.
They made a cartoon.
They made a cartoon that it was terrible. I watched like a few episodes. Audrey is Mushnick's daughter in it. I know.
Okay.
The dentist is like a bully kid with braces, and they're all kids.
That makes sense.
They're all kids.
Oh, so it's like a children's version?
Yeah, and
Do they
then-
still die?
No.
Oh.
The plant mostly helps Seymour try and win Audrey's heart, and his name is Audrey
Wait,
Jr.
so Geffen did the same thing with the Beetlejuice cartoon, where it's like him and Winona Ryder were enemies, and he was forcing her to marry him, and then in the cartoon they're best friends.
I don't know who made the
They
cartoon.
got to make it fun for Saturday morning. You can't wake up Saturday morning, fresh bowl of cereal, and it's like, hey, you know that character you like? Dead.
Yeah.
Eaten.
I'm just saying, Audrey should have been a bad guy, not their friend. That's weird.
I mean, he was, from what I remember, I only watched one episode. I'm like, this sucks. It was, he was just like, he just ate meat or something. I don't remember.
I'm busting out of this overgrown meat like a tomorrow, getting my little green bud back where it belongs.
Well, I'm gonna watch every episode now.
There's only 13, so it's not that
I'm
bad.
gonna become the biggest Little Shop
Cartoon
cartoon fan.
fan of
Yeah,
all time.
it's just called Little Shop, and it was just, I think the theme song was like, Little Shop, Little Shop.
They just couldn't
And
use like
instead
the
of, like,
song
the-
from the musical?
Yeah, well, instead of the three urchins, it's 3 tulips. So they have other singing plants.
I do like that they're like the narrators, kind of the singers that are telling
urchins,
you what's
yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
But then they're also characters in the movie.
Because that's how it was in the musical too.
Yeah.
But with the movie, they can
Chiffon.
do a little more like.
I do really
fun
like
stuff.
I do
Crystal
really
and
like
Monette.
that they go off camera and then the Skid Row song happens and it pans out and they've already done a wardrobe change. I thought that was really
They're
cool.
the best looking girls on Skid Row.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, that's not hard to do.
I don't know. Audrey 2 with her leopard print is pretty hot.
Audrey
Audrey
1.
won. You said Audrey 2.
I'm thinking about Audrey 2, man.
So yeah, they call it Audrey 2. It works. It drums up interest for people to go into the store. All these people just happen. All these people with
rich
money
people.
happen to be.
And Skid Row,
Skid
by the
Row.
way, the poorest place in New York City. And they're just like, hey, what an interesting plan. While I'm here, $100 worth of roses, pretty cool.
Can you break 100? No.
Well, I'll have to get double.
Twice as many. Twice as many. And then the 2 homeless guys are like, twice as many.
So Seymour longs for Audrey, but she is content, I guess, with her abusive dentist boyfriend.
It's less content and more like she thinks this is what she deserves.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from Skid Row. I'm trash.
Yeah.
I don't deserve anything better than Steve Martin.
I used to be like that. I was like, this is what I deserve. I'm not happy, but I deserve this. And then one day I found the confidence and I said, I'm breaking up with Johanna. That's what I did.
I guess that's good for you.
You don't know my pain. My
One day you're
struggle,
gonna find that strength.
my sacrifice.
And don't tell her we made that joke. I want her to react to it live.
I'm so sorry.
She's gonna be watching the stream. I'm gonna be like downstairs watching TV. She's gonna be like, "Hey, just punch me in the arm."
Anyway, let me see here.
Yeah, you get married soon.
That's
yeah.
true. This year,
Hey, woohoo.
So he's got to nurse the plant back to health because it's dying, but he doesn't know what to do. So of course he sings a song about how he doesn't know what to do.
What else would you do?
oh, I loved this song in my version because you can't curse in high school, right? It's illegal. The feds would come. So when he cuts his finger on the plant, he's like, damn roses, damn thorns.
Damn roses, damn thorns.
Couldn't say damn. I was like,
That's the devil's word.
darn roses, darn thorns.
Darn workbench, darn splinters.
I think my high school said damn rose, damn thorn.
I wasn't allowed to, but I also went to like Episcopal school.
Oh, that makes
So,
sense.
you know,
Mine was just
Jesus would have smited me on the
Mine was
spot.
just the devil's high school, I guess.
We never did that in Catholic school. We never did Little Shop of Horrors.
That makes sense.
Famously, my first play, I mentioned it in the Spider-Man episode, I was a Nazi in Sound of Music. If you missed the Spider-Man episode, I didn't know what a Nazi was because I was 6.
Also, go watch those episodes because they're great. Anyway.
And before I went to the play, I decided to play outside in my front lawn in my very Jewish neighborhood. And I didn't understand why my mom kept telling me to come back inside the house.
I'm just playing with my ball.
And then in high school, the one I went to with Johanna,
You wore the costume again. You're
they
like,
made no, they cast me as like the offensive Asian stereotype in Anything Goes.
Sure.
And at the time, 2006, I'm like, oh, this is funny. I'm just like looking back. I'm like, oh man, that high school set me up to get canceled like a decade prior.
Look, my
And
high
then
school.
here's the clip.
My high school, my freshman year of high school, we did West Side Story.
Yeah.
You can already maybe
love
tell
West
where.
Side
No,
Story.
you can probably tell where this is going because the white people who played the
The Puerto Rican.
they were like, go get a tan. The girl who played Maria. I was stage crew at the time. I was like, I'm not in this.
No freaking
But
way.
she had blonde hair, white skin. She had a dye her hair brown.
That's a Puerto Rican vibe. I ever saw one.
I will. So
Jesus.
high school name redacted. Why?
High school name.
I'm not gonna out them.
Twitter wasn't a thing back then. So
Well, yeah, it was a good musical. The ending always made me cry, but looking back, I'm like, that's not okay. That's not okay.
So it turns out the plant wants blood.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
It's like kissing. He wants to.
Oh, we forgot to mention
he
got
wants
it.
to kiss it, make it better.
We forgot to mention he got the plant during a total eclipse of the sun.
And no one noticed the bright
The
lightning.
beam down on
But
the shop.
the Chinese
old
guy who was dressed how I was in Anything Goes, again, probably should
A
not
very
Good segue.
that the way that whole scene was the Chang that would not be okay today. I feel.
have. Yeah, that probably would not fly today. I'm not sure.
I love also in that scene. I love when like the like those doo-wop singers. He comes
yeah.
the street and like,
Oh, yeah, he
and
goes to join them.
and he tries to. He's like, oh okay. Yeah. But like the lightning, the eclipse happens. Everyone's looking at it, and I'm like, no one notices that bright.
Also,
flash of
if you look
green
at an
lightning.
eclipse, you're blind.
You shouldn't be looking at the
Yeah.
eclipse.
You're just blind.
But the old Chinese man sold it to him anyway
For all the money he had in his pocket.
for $1.95.
So he learns
Love
that
it. I love it. What a cheap.
Yes.
What a cheap plant.
Also, it's just like, yes, I definitely did have that. Here you go.
but yeah,
He
gives
definitely
it-
didn't report
he
his
gives it
taxes to the
blood.
government.
No.
He gives it blood, and Audrey starts to grow. And I love the puppeteering here.
Oh, it's so good.
Like the tin can starts moving, and the
Yeah, the Maxwell.
I love
coffee
this.
can.
We were laughing at the sigh where it just goes.
Just like so yeah,
content.
that puppet like it was like when I was like doing like he wants to kiss his boo boo, make it better. That's why I wrote my notes. I'm like, he wants to kiss his boo boo, make it better. Wink. That was only like puppeteered by like 2 guys. It's been animatronic, very simple.
Yeah. They get more complicated.
Oh
as they
god,
go.
we'll get
yeah.
to that. We'll get to that.
Oh yeah, but the plant is just the animatronic and the puppeteering of the plant is the best part of this
I think
movie.
the
It's
I think
absolutely
the
peak.
growing, the part where it grows, I think that might be stop motion. If not, it's something. I
It
don't know.
didn't seem
Because I
like
know
stop.
they had like
The
it was
leaves.
like a,
The leaves at least were stop
Yeah.
motion.
The leaves might have been stop motion and composited.
Yeah.
They might have been there. I had to. We were watching on a VHS rip. I have to look at the HD
What are you
version to
talking
make
about? That
sure.
was perfect quality.
Okay. The tape from 1987. Sure.
Yeah, a year after the movie was made.
So, I love John Candy's cameo in this.
Oh, it's
Weird.
so good.
Wait, I got
DJ.
it. Weird. That just looks weird.
By the way, I love that
Don't take that out. It's like
Jess.
it's like
make Jess make sure to cut around that, I guess, or leave it in. It's up to you.
I'm
That's
leaving
gonna
it
be
in.
a gift.
It's just like Johanna stabbing.
What
She
is
still
the-
stabs to this day
Why
like
does
that.
she do it?
Every time she goes to pretend stab me, it's like that, and I always get a little chuckle.
I thought you almost said something else. But anyway,
Only if you want me to, big guy.
Also, I mean, for starters, in the studio with him is a guy with a ventriloquist nun.
yeah, a ventriloquist
playing
done with a
saxophone,
horn.
A lady with a chained up wooden
Chained up
box, and a
box,
guy
and the-
with a flight suit.
An old guy with a Da Vinci style
Yeah.
flight wing suit. I'm like, I want to know about that guy.
I mean, like before you hear like the weird and
yeah. But I like that John Candy's pretending to be multiple people. Like you think there's multiple
has,
DJs,
like, the-
and it turns out it's just
Yeah,
him.
just him
Yeah.
doing a lot of voices in the studio.
Also the lady, he's like, when do I go on? And then she has her butt towards.
Oh yeah, I love the plants
And the
trying to eat her
plants-
butt.
I wrote down.
he just
Where is
starts-
it? I think it was like.
Towards her ass.
I think I wrote down plant wants to eat ass. Sorry.
Very progressive, ahead of its
I know,
time.
right? Also,
I don't think people were eating ass in 1986.
well, no.
Probably weren't talking about it as much.
Neither were plants. Also, I think in the stage version, it's you. Did you do that?
Yes.
Yeah, you puppeteered it. Yeah.
So
Did you try to bite the girl's butt with the puppet?
I didn't try to bite a girl's
Okay.
butt, but I did try to bite people.
Okay.
So in my production of it,
You or the plant?
the plant. So in my production, I was puppeteering the plant. So I had like a jacket with a fake arm
Yeah.
through it, and my hand was in the plant, and I was like doing the plant. So I was like doing like this and
plant doesn't
everything.
talk.
The plant doesn't talk. It just like goes to like snippet people. And I remember the person that played Audrey 2 in my high school production was the South Korean exchange student.
Okay.
You know, great casting. He was excellent. His name is Jay. He's awesome.
Okay.
His sister came from South Korea to see the production of Little Shop. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get her on this scene. So I got permission to just exclusively go for her.
Oh, did she like go in the audience?
I wasn't allowed to go in the audience. I wanted to go in the audience because she was front row.
Yeah.
So like if there was a time for me to jump off stage, it was right then and there trying to get her some planned action.
Some plan action.
And good for you trying to build up your international audience.
That's what I'm saying.
So you would have international appeal when you became a celebrity.
Exactly.
But unfortunately,
you know, the Asian market is the biggest for movies right now.
It is, but unfortunately, that'll never happen.
I know.
According to Jess, I think you still have a shot, but Jess just doesn't.
Jess is like an ideal casting director, so
I'm
Yes,
not.
yes.
I'm done.
I'm not.
But I love when John Candy pretends that like there's a naked woman there and the husband machine guns them. But I love your show. But I got a machine gun. But
I love your show, but I've got to kill you both with this machine gun.
that's how I want to die. That's really how I want to. I want a
somebody
naked
comes into
woman
the
to come on
shop
the
and
show
like-
and me be like, "What are you doing here?" And then her husband to be like, "I love your show. I need to kill you." That's how I want to die.
It's gonna go on your
I
tombstone.
love you, Tony, but see ya.
That'd be the perfect ending. That'd be the perfect ending to my life. Just like, and
Perfect ending.
Now, would you rather be known for Hack the Movies or being the star in The Dark Knight Rises?
That's tough.
I thought the other option we were going to say was have a naked lady come in and then be shown on the camera being shot.
I want the thing to be like star of Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that's the
Gets
That's what
killed
the guy
on his
says?
internet show by Shell's
That's what he's like. I love your show. I loved you in Dark Knight Rises, but you gotta go.
by jealous cuck. Machine guns him to death. It's the perfect ending ever.
Also, I
Thank
love.
you, John Candy.
Also, I love in the scene where he's like, "Where'd you get such a weird plan?" He's like, "You remember that total eclipse of a
He
sun?"
does,
Sally?"
he does like the
you
song
see
in
the-
a second.
I love that you think it's gonna happen again, and then it just cuts the song.
Yeah. Just cuts back. Yeah.
Oh, I like when Audrey shows up late to the store, and he's like, "Oh, let me
With
guess,
the
you
cat.
got." It's just like, "Let me guess, you got
the tights under.
you got tied up." She goes, "No, just handcuffed a little." It's like, oh my god,
It's like, damn.
I didn't get that joke as a kid.
Well, because when I was a kid, I was like, oh, she got arrested. I was like, it's Skid Row. The cops are probably like around.
Yeah.
Watching it as
You
a
don't really
grown
see
man
the
with
cops
my.
that much in Skid Row. Maybe like a
That's
police
true.
car, but
Yeah.
it's mostly homeless people singing.
Well, they deleted them. The original had two, and they're like, "Nah, get those characters out of here."
We got urchins. We can make them sing.
Yeah. So she's sad, and she dreams about what her perfect life would be with Seymour.
So this song inspired Part of Your World, actually. Did you know that?
It's true.
I did not.
So
Yeah.
the team that wrote the music for Little Shop of Horrors is Alan Menken and Howard Ashburn.
Okay.
You might know them as the people that wrote the songs of The Little Mermaid,
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin.
Okay.
So really,
That's a good
really
track
famous.
record.
Did he do Hunchback too?
I think Menken did, but Ashburn was dead at that point.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
That's a good. There's
So like
some
they
bangers.
got some pedigree going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I
you
don't
can
like-
even see with like part of your world and
Yeah.
Somewhere That's Green has like very similar cadences, but it's an I Want song.
Yeah, I do
It's
love.
an I Want song.
It,
And
like
now-
you were saying, like the house that she's in looks very fake.
It looks very fake at the end.
Well, yeah, but like,
point.
it's the same
Yeah.
house in that song. It's because it's literally she's dreaming of this house that she saw in a magazine.
Yeah, yeah. No,
And
I
then
get
she,
it. I
and then
get
she
it.
has animated birds. All the
Oh, the animated birds are like my
Yeah,
favorite
those are
part of the
pretty
whole
My
thing.
mom got a kick out of the was it the Tupperware?
Oh, the
Like,
Tupperware
all
party.
all the ladies over and they're just
what
like
you call it?
Tupperware.
Thank you for pronouncing it correctly, by the way.
Tupperware?
Tupperware. It's not Tupperware, you barbarians. It's Tupper with P's.
Tupperware.
Tupper.
Tupperware.
Yes.
I have a band
Yeah.
I love called Tupperware.
People say
Remix
tubber?
Party.
People say Tupperware.
Tupper?
I know I say weird things. I don't think I say
Yeah, like
Tupperware.
husband.
Yeah, I do
Husband?
say husband.
Husbands? He says husband. With a T.
Husband.
Look, I can't trump all of the Northeast
than
Philly
us?
stuff, okay? I can't. I'm trying my hardest.
Since Johanna and I are getting married this year,
Yeah.
she has only called me her husband.
You know what's funny? Like, we got a bunch of new subscribers recently. Thanks. And one of them went back to an older episode, and they're like, "Why does he keep saying flawed?"
Jaws.
And I'm like, "Oh, buddy, like, you gotta
Just
get used.
you wait.
I'm like, you really gotta get used to that right away."
You know, you make fun of Crystal a lot for saying weird, like stuff weird.
Crystal doesn't just mispronounce stuff. She just says words that like don't exist and
She's
names that
trying her
aren't
best.
real.
Meanwhile, you just say Jaws.
I'm saying the word. I'm just not saying it right. Anyway, back to this.
Jaws. John.
I was gonna say, I think Suicide Squad ripped off this dream sequence.
Probably.
When Harley Quinn imagines being a housewife with the Jared Leto Joker and they look normal and they have like kids, I'm like, are they ripping off Little Shop of Horrors?
They actually did a parody of this song with Herbert the Pervert and
It's
Chris
true.
in Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Play a clip.
In the fine soul scented air, somewhere that's green.
So he literally sings a song and it's like him and Chris's kids.
Oh my God.
And he's like, somewhere that's
It's weird that the kids look just like them. And
Oh yeah, the daughter
like,
has
all right.
the
Herbert's the
really bad.
so
Watching
it's like-
I Love Lucy.
They gotta fix their skin. They gotta get on a
love that.
moisturizer routine.
Between our frozen dinners and our bedtime, 9:15.
That's my
Are they
bedtime in real
twins?
life.
Are the kids twins?
They sure don't look like it.
No.
I mean, I always kind of viewed it as twins because like the nuclear family
Yeah, I
is
guess so.
the mom, the dad, and 2 kids, a boy and a girl.
I mean, the daughter in that scene literally has the fakest way, just like
You're a
mom.
twin, right?
I am a twin.
My
Really?
nieces are twins.
Wow.
So many twins.
I'm a different kind of twin than that though, because I have a twin sister.
Okay, you're
Not identical. That would be unfortunate for
my
her.
the nieces aren't identical.
How do you know? How old are they?
A few months, but they're not identical. They're
I don't know.
fraternal.
There's time.
There's time for them to turn into okay.
I'm just an older
It's like
sister.
animorphs.
I'm just an
One's
older
got
sister.
a
That's
one's
it.
got a raspberry on the back of her head.
You should probably get that checked out by
No, they did. They
Okay.
said it. They said it's gonna get bigger, and then it's gonna like.
It's gonna get bigger.
They said it's
just gonna get bigger progressively
said
for the
it's
rest
gonna
of her
get
life.
bigger.
When you
and
said
then-
raspberry, though, I thought you meant the actual fruit. I'm like, just pick it off.
No. It's like that birthmark.
I know
sort
what
of
it.
thing.
Yeah, I know what.
They said it's gonna get bigger and then like deflate over time.
What is it? A balloon?
But they said it's a problem
Stop
if
it.
it scabs, but so far it hasn't. But the good news is, so I can usually tell them apart because one has bigger cheeks than the other.
Rude.
But if the one's like this, then they look exactly the same.
So what you're saying is they look identical.
They look very similar. They don't always look alike, but there are times where they look alike. So when I go over there, it's easy to tell now. I'm like, oh, which one has like the monster growing out of the back of its head? Oh, that's Gabby.
monster?
Oh, that's Gabby. I got it.
Your sister's gonna watch this episode and be like, "Hey, remember when you called my daughter a monster?"
My sister's got a lot to explain.
I wonder
Okay,
what
we
prison-
had Prison Mike on the
Yeah, I was
show.
gonna
He
say, I wonder
knows
what
a
Prison
lot
Mike's
about
gonna
my
think.
family.
What about Prison Mike's gonna think about this?
So yeah, her dream with Seymour. That's the dream life that she wants.
Yeah.
That hopefully she will get one day, depending on what version you're watching. But yeah, my problem with the thing is, and we were talking to someone in our office, like the whole dream about like the beautiful like 50s lifestyle, like there's like this like the trad girls on Twitter and like the trad dudes. They were like it's younger people, actually your guys' age, who are like, we got to return to these old fashioned values and traditional stuff, and it's like yeah, but it wasn't really like that. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Well, if you think about it's through rose-colored glasses, nostalgia. She's
But
from
like,
Skid
didn't
Row.
we
She
have like
confused
6
it's perfect.
seasons of Mad Men that explained it wasn't actually like that?
It's fine. This was made before then.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy.
That's the whole
The
point of
musical
it.
came out in 1960. Of course, it's gonna be like this.
Well, no,
idyllic
not the.
50s.
No, I'm
not
saying
the
today, like,
musical,
people-
not the movie came in
Oh,
1960.
the movie was
the
60,
way-
right?
the way her
musical
That was a
dream life
musical
is
in
later
1960.
60s.
That would be
the
amazing.
way her dream life is portrayed is how these like younger people are like, this is what America should be, and this is what we have to return to. It's like, yeah, but they were all like doping up and stuff. Like, it was awful.
That was the American dream.
Talk to any old person, all they'll tell you is how their teachers and parents beat the shit out of them all the time.
Oh yeah.
If you talk to an old, like a woman, they're like, oh, all the Xanax I did.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the guys, you're just looking at the art and whatnot. You weren't actually there, and the people there will be like, oh, yeah, it sucked. Unless they were rich, I guess.
My
But
mom said she was humiliated in front of her classmates by a nun.
Yeah.
Because she went to Catholic school, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
There was that BoJack Horseman episode where they talk about how like husbands used to just lobotomize their wives when they acted up too much.
It's true.
Audrey's gonna get lobotomized.
That's why the
Depending on which
the
ending.
vibrator was made. It would fix the crazy out of the women.
Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway.
That makes sense.
Seymour keeps giving Audrey 2 blood, and it grows a lot.
This song here, Some Fun Now, is kind of like, was it You Never Know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the song?
This is a song that's added in. But
Yeah,
it's
this is
similar,
an added-in song because it's
It's similar to the other one. Like
Yeah.
the original
Yeah.
one.
But yeah,
Some fun
actually, no. It doesn't happen yet. That's about to happen. But this is just the plants getting bigger from the blood.
No, they're singing Some Fun Now as he's feeding the plant.
Oh, I'm confusing you with the other song. Sorry. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
What movie are you watching?
There's two like movie original songs in this.
I mixed up the songs. You are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
this
they're
one
singing
wasn't
Some Fun
nominated
Now.
for an Academy Award, though.
Correct.
And then
Which I understand why.
we get my favorite character of all time, the dentist. What's his actual name? I know it's
No,
Steve
you
Martin.
skipped the part where he forgot he didn't deliver the flowers, and you also see that the plant's bigger.
Okay, yes, the
Yeah,
flowers.
because
This is
this is
Shiva.
reference the 60s.
The
60
Shiva.
film.
Mrs. Shiva.
Mrs. Shiva, which her name in the original, it's like
Did you hear that? All the customers here. He forgot to deliver the flower. I forget what he said.
The biggest funeral account.
Yes,
They're dropping like
yes,
flies.
That is a really funny. I kind of wish she was in there because the running gag in the original is that this old lady keeps coming in because another family member has died.
Oh yeah.
And even her name Shiva is something Shiva. It's like a play on like the Jewish word
wrote
for
it.
like funeral.
Mrs. City Shiva.
Yes, it's like a funeral word or something. Yeah, I did like that. That was really, really funny.
Yeah, the fact that they had that little reference, I was like, oh, that's good.
Yes,
we like
yes.
that.
But then
I love that. Well, yeah, you say it's gonna cut to the
Yeah.
dentist, but I love that the line we're going into is like Musha going, "What kind of professional wears a leather jacket and rides a motorcycle?" And then cuts to him.
cuts to boom, boom, boom.
When
and I
was
knew who
doing good
Steve Martin was when I was a kid. I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh.
just like, this guy, he's beating people up. He's hurting kids.
What happened to the?
I pushed it down because I had to talk
Okay,
to you.
I was like, oh, is it real?
So Steve Martin, he's like hurting kids. He's just punching broads left and right. And I was like, well, finally, the hero of the movie has shown up to save the day from that evil plant.
Plant Man?
Yes, Seymour's a bad guy.
Oh, I thought you
Seymour
meant
is
the
a bad
plant.
guy.
He's a bad guy. And
That's
luckily,
true.
this
That's true.
brave hero is here.
This brave hero that beats women.
I do love that the backstory he gives. He's just like,
Oh, his song is
he
so
used to
good.
beat puppies.
song is so-
he used
he's-
to poison guppies and bash cats.
And this might have been like the earliest I was just like, for me, where I was just like, that's a bad guy and I love him. Like,
Yeah.
that was like one of the earliest
He
experience I've had where I'm like, I know he's bad, but I'm not mad at him.
He has the
This
power.
guy is great.
He has the power to jump off his motorcycle and then stop it.
Yeah, it stops it like a horse.
He's pretty strong for
Yeah.
being able to do
Pretty
that.
strong. So yeah, this song came on, and our friend was in the office. What was her fake name I gave her last year?
I don't know.
Rachel Dolezal was in the office.
Oh
That was
my
the fake
God.
name I gave her. I picked a generic white girl name. And she's like, she didn't know what the movie was. And then we got excited, and then we both started singing this.
Yo, be
Yeah,
a dentist.
punch. I'm like, oh, this song's
Talent
great.
for causing things. Pain.
She's watching it. I guess if you walked in out of context,
It's
or
kind of.
even in context, you're like,
It's a little weird.
you're like, what is this? There's a dentist just mutilating people.
Why is
fair.
he singing?
To be fair, depending on your history with a dentist,
Yeah.
which I've had terrible ones, this scene is kind of horrifying. My mom had terrible, like when I showed her this movie, she was just like this, like, oh my god.
I never had a problem with
But-
dentists.
Oh, I love
No,
going
I've
to the
had
dentist.
issues.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
I like getting
no.
my teeth cleaned.
Oh, no.
You're like
Feels
Bill
good.
Murray or Jack Nicholson.
I went to a dentist that had the word smile in it. That place never made me smile. But no,
I had to
my
have
mom
braces,
was,
so
I'm
I
like,
went-
Mom, this is what's scaring you? She's like, yeah.
I do
the
want to
dentist
say
sucks.
that I love how everyone's terrified of him. The one guy's on the ceiling and
Yeah.
everything. But I love the effect with the drill.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's
that
Steve
part
Martin's
hurts.
hand, and then it's a drill that they made gigantic, and then they built a giant mouth.
The
with
giant
a
mouth
tongue.
set is
It's
so
so
good.
And I'm like, that is such a
I
good
expect
effect.
nothing less from the Jim Henson Company.
Yeah.
I
But
do.
no.
I do love that hurt. Wait, I'm not numb. Ah, shut up. Open wide. Here I come.
There was an asshole dentist a few years back that got caught like he was like purposely like going after like low income families, and I forget what he was doing, but like he like purposely wouldn't like drug the kids when he drilled into their teeth. Like it was.
That's what my dentist did.
It's like when back in the day when they would do surgery on babies, they were like, "Oh, babies don't feel pain, so they don't need to be having
Yes,
like,
yeah.
get
If
put under."
you were to drop a baby, which don't do, they cry.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they feel pain.
Babies
They also have soft heads.
No, babies are always crying.
They can't feel pain, so
I go babysit my nieces. They're like, "Wow." I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah, probably because
Like,
they're used.
stop
Because when they're in the womb, they're getting their nutrients like easily. Meanwhile, this time they're just like, "Feed me now."
also
I know.
they have to
They're
live
like the
in
plant.
Biden's America.
I wasn't ready for that. That's why they cried, I'm sure.
That's why they're crying.
They're like, "No."
Well, that's all the time I got. See you guys. I'm out.
Anyway. Sorry, that just broke me.
That was really
That
good.
was so unexpected.
But yeah, so the dentist is an asshole.
And,
And
he,
I love-
he has a shrine of his mom.
He has a shrine of his mom.
Oh,
but I love that
mama?
they're like, they could have just introduced him in the next scene being a dick to Audrey. And they're like, no, you know what? Let's give him his entire song and backstory and everything and just show how much of an asshole he is.
That's what they did in the stage musical.
Yeah, this
No,
is,
no,
this
no,
is-
I mean,
this is like
even for
almost
the-
1-to-1.
Yeah.
Even for the musical, I mean, it's an interesting story because the
Yeah.
dentist in the original, like, it's just a dentist.
Kind of an asshole.
He's kind of a jerk, but he's not
as mean.
He's not as
in this
malicious. He's not dating Audrey. He's not beating women or anything like that. He gets killed on accident, but he's not like a bad guy. I like the choice. They're like, oh no, we're gonna make that the worst guy in the
He's
fucking
made to
world.
be hated,
Yes.
Yeah, because
especially by Seymour because
because which we'll get into
motivator,
later.
yeah.
They need to give him motivation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, his motorcycle flies. That's my canon. 'Cause he just literally goes, woo!
It's the same technology that powers the car at the end of Grease.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like
That's
he literally
right.
has the power not only to make his motorcycle stop, but
Oh, that's
fly.
right. It does come from like the top.
It's just like woo!
but
And,
yeah,
and then he gets off it and it stops again. It's like wow.
he's excited to meet Seymour.
Yeah.
He's real excited to meet Seymour.
Dr. Oren Scrivello, DDS.
And then she corrects him.
It's Seymour.
Somebody talking to you?
Oh no.
It's Seymour.
He like does not like when Audrey 1 talks. He's like, shut up, Audrey 1.
Excuse
I am
me,
talking.
what? Excuse me, doctor.
Needs to make sure that he's called doctor.
Yes. Yes.
Doctor. You got the handcuffs? They're in my bag.
I like that they brought back the handcuff reference.
and he's always sniffing the laughing gas. He just goes,
Yes, he is constantly gassing up.
Remember, kids, drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. Don't do drugs.
laughing.
So yeah, Audrey 2 needs to be fed, and we finally get to hear its voice by the late great Levi
And
Stubbs.
it's so
of the
perfect.
4 Tops.
Feed me, Chalfont! Feed me now!
The lead singer of the
I
Four
was always
Tops.
told someone told me it was Levi Stubbs, and I kept calling it that, and they're like, "No, that's
think it's
wrong." And I'm
pronounced
like,
Levi.
"Well, then whoever told me that was fucking wrong." No, it's
and
Levi Stubbs.
his voice is great.
It's so
Perfect.
perfect.
Feed me, Seymour. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
It's so perfect.
And
Feed me, Seymour!
Oh, the puppetry in this scene is so
Oh,
Yes.
the
Did you know
puppetry
that-
and it's so good.
the one of the head puppeteers for this scene was Brian Henson.
Nice. Well, that makes
Yeah,
sense because
yeah.
this puppet is so intricate and so big, even
Yeah,
for our
it
stage
takes-
production.
Yeah.
It took like 25 people to move this puppet.
and it still holds up.
And-
Luckily, it's
Oh,
literally planted, so you can run more wires around it.
Also, kudos to Rick Moranis because they had to shoot these scenes at 12 frames per second.
Oh,
Did you know that?
right.
Yeah.
Right, because of the
To make it look faster, yeah,
it
because
makes it look so smooth, but
it
like,
does. It looks seamless.
Rick, I never knew that, and when I found out, I'm like, he's moving slow.
But
It's perfect.
I have a question. How is Audrey 2 able to reference like so many things?
I play the radio and they hear it.
you know, the space waves and
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about like Grits and the Ritz Hotel
Well,
and all that stuff.
if you remember the classic cartoon Futurama, right?
Yes.
The episode Single Female Lawyer.
Oh
where
yes,
Fry
I remember
interrupt-
Single Female Lawyer.
Fry interrupts a broadcast of Single Female Lawyer, and 1,000 years later, it gets to the planet Omicron Persei 8. It's the same thing.
I've never
Single
seen that
female.
episode, but okay.
What was that show parodying?
I don't know, Aaron Brockovich.
No, Ally McBeal.
I was gonna say,
That was a show on Fox, Ally
I
McBeal.
was 4.
She was the single female lawyer. God.
Anyway.
I'm
I
not-
watched a lot of Ally McBeal.
Sorry, I'm not 87 like you, Tony.
That show was ahead of their time. They had a unisex bathroom.
Wow.
it's the first time I ever saw that in the show. I was like, this is groundbreaking.
Awesome.
I'm sure years later people will refer to this. Now no one talks about Ally McBeal. Anyway.
Well, now you do. And when that
We're bringing it back,
when
baby.
that guy comes in with that machine gun after you see his naked wife, he's gonna be like, "Thank you for representing and remember that episode."
You know what? I hear what you guys are saying. This is now an Ally McBeal review channel. Episode
Awesome.
1.
Never seen it. Let's go.
I think my mom likes it.
Look, I was not a fan of the Robert Downey Jr. seasons. They lost me there. But when Hayden Panettiere was her daughter.
I'm sorry, who?
Hayden Panettiere.
Hayden Panettiere?
Hannah Panettiere.
Hannah Penna?
The girl from Scream who died and came back. The girl from Until Dawn. I like those seasons.
Kyrie in Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. Anyway, so they're singing. He's like, hey, man, you got to murder some people for me. How about that dentist guy? And right on cue, I guess it was the shortest date ever. The dentist comes.
Oh, no, because she fell off the motorcycle.
Oh, that's right. She fell off the motorcycle.
Messing with my hair.
Yeah.
So also, there's a behind the scenes clip. It was a blooper, but it's not that funny because he opens the door in the blooper and he smashes the window with his hand. And he goes, oh, like you see it. He slams it open, hits it again. It's like,
Yeah.
it's bad.
But yeah, he's too strong.
Yeah.
Steve Martin.
He is.
Yeah.
He's the strongest.
Professional strongman.
Super angry.
But yeah, he goes in there. He starts like beating her.
It's like bad.
And I'm like, oh, this is a fun, because it is supposed to be a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a good motive.
Women get hit, be funny.
Sure.
In the 1980s.
That was the old saying I hear from the 1980s. People were going around. They were in the theaters going, women be hit, women getting hit be funny.
But like, and this is the point where Seymour, like, he turns from like the timid, the nice, like, well, I'm Seymour, that type of guy, to like, all right, I'm gonna kill a dentist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he thinks the dentist is evil. So it's like a justified.
If
also because he just loves Audrey.
He
so
loves
much.
Audrey.
And he's like
Audrey won.
Audrey won.
He's got to make sure that if
He also loves Audrey too because he wants to
if he's got to kill somebody, it's got to be somebody who deserves it.
Yeah.
You can only kill bad people, which I introduced in this film and explored much better.
That's exclusively what our government does.
Wait. Explored much better in the film Venom, starring Tom Hardy, where he's like, we're only going to eat bad people, Venom. And Venom's like, okay.
Like a turd.
Like a turd in the wind. I think we all love Venom. We're big Venom fans, but we're not here to talk about
I
Venom.
did like the movie.
We're not here to talk about Venom. We got to move on. I know you're a big fan of the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe.
The Sony-verse.
That's why you have your Morbius cover.
It is Morbin time. My favorite part is when Audrey 2 goes, it's Morbin time.
Yeah, he says that.
And he goes, what?
He's like, oh, you'll understand it in 40 years.
Yeah, I love the fact that I went to go see that Nicolas Cage movie and they gave me this.
Yeah.
Because no one went to see it.
So,
and now it's time.
this part is in the original film, but not the play, but they put it back in for the movie. So everyone knows that Jack Nicholson is in the original Little Shop of Horrors, one of his first roles, probably.
I think it was like his third.
Yeah, it was like one of his first.
Yeah.
It was one of his first ever movie
He did
roles.
a bunch of Roger Corman films. Oh, what was that one? The Terror? Don't watch The Terror. It's bad. They were breaking down the sets for one movie, and in between, they're like, we could probably film another movie. So like there's one part where him and Dick Miller, who's also in the original, they have to have a conversation in front of like a bush because all the sets have been taken down and they weren't done making the movie. That's how cheap Roger Corman was.
Hey.
Anyway.
Hey.
He's got a movie, he's got to make it.
Yes. So yeah, this is the character with Jack Nicholson, but because Jack Nicholson became Jack Nicholson, all the DVDs, like later on, they put him on the cover and try to trick you into thinking he's Seymour.
Yeah.
But no, he's the guy
he's in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally, both versions I don't understand. I guess it makes more sense in this version. But in the original version, like, why was there just a guy who wanted all his teeth pulled and shit? That's so weird.
I never understood it, but I was just like, whatever.
They brought it back and they had Bill Murray do it.
And all his dialogue here was improvised.
That makes sense. I love when, what's her face?
Heather Henson.
Heather Henson comes out with like the thing from Saw.
That's the young girl with the braces.
With the braces, yeah.
From Saw. S-A-W. Saw. Not Saul,
There's no
which is
L
what I
in it.
usually say.
Better call Saul.
But it looks like that like device from that movie.
Yeah, she's like,
but I love that
he's like, yes, that makes sense. They have to move the
and
jaw
he's
that
like,
way.
you're gonna be really proud. You're gonna be really happy years later.
Yeah.
So you have like a guy who loves dishing out pain and a guy who loves taking pain. And Steve Martin just hates Bill Murray. He hates him so much because he wants him to scream and yell, and he hates that he's enjoying
he is
it.
yelling,
He does
but he's
scream
not
and yell,
in
just
pain.
not in the
It's
way
like,
he wants it.
Out of joy, he's like, was he like candy bar, chocolate bar, or whatever?
Yes.
But
Say
He's like, what's that? What are you doing with that?
I do like that they brought this back from the original movie because
it's good.
I miss it in the musical because like it just does it add anything?
fun.
Absolutely not. It adds zero plot progression.
In this, it kind of does.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So here, we now know because Seymour is here now to kill him.
Side note, I did tell you this, that this is, I think, according to the internet could be wrong, the only movie where Steve Martin and Bill Murray appear together.
Well, the internet never lies, so.
It never lies.
I saw it from a YouTube channel. I forget what the YouTube short was, but
Well, thanks, that channel.
yeah, thank you, that channel.
It'd be better if you memorize the name.
I can put it down below.
Put it down
It was
below.
literally like a 5-second clip, but I'm like, you know what?
So-
you informed me. Thank you.
So I think the whole thing is Steve Martin is mad that his latest patient was not hurt enough. So he's going to take it out extra on Dan Aykroyd, on Rick Moranis.
Dan Aykroyd is in this movie.
You had me thinking
He's a
Saturday Night Live. He's going to take it out on Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
But
With the
since he's
rusty-
so frustrated,
With
he's
the
gonna
rusty.
Yeah, with the rusty
drill.
Yes.
It's an antique.
But because he's so frustrated, he has to do extra laughing gas.
Well, it's not because he's frustrated. He wants to just enjoy it more.
Yes,
Like,
because he
I'm
didn't
gonna
get
need
to
some
enjoy it in
gas.
the
Yeah,
scene
so he's
prior.
going to double it.
I'm gonna need some gas. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Not for you, for me.
Yes, I love he goes to turn it off and it breaks.
And then Seymour,
Yeah.
who bravely sat there and did nothing, everything works out for him.
Yeah.
Which
doesn't
again,
get
this
your-
scene
There,
is emotionally powerful, and it was replicated in Breaking Bad when Hank lets Jane die. I'm sure they were thinking about this scene. Not Hank.
As someone who's never
Not
seen
Hank,
Breaking
fuck,
Bad, I
Walter.
fully agree.
you say
Walter.
Ranking Bad? I thought you said Ranking Bad.
I haven't seen that either.
Sorry.
ranking some
When
bad.
Walter let Jane die, that would have been weird. If Hank let Jane die, that would have been a very different show. But yeah, you haven't seen it?
I've never watched. I've watched the first episode of Breaking Bad.
She's like overdosing on heroin and throwing up, and he just lets her.
That's fair.
And I'm sure when they wrote that, they were watching Little Shop of Horrors.
And they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Inspiration, Steve Martin.
Also, why does he have in the movie? Why does he have a canine's teeth on the wall?
That's a good question.
like,
Oh,
"This
because
could
he
be
tortured
you."
animals.
That's right.
He did.
But he's saying like these could be your teeth. It's like yes, that dog's mouth is clearly the same as mine.
But he dies.
What did I ever do to you?
Yes.
Not to me.
I do like when he's dying. He's like, "Will you give me a hand?" I guess you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
Seymour doesn't actually kill anybody in this movie.
He doesn't. Even in the original, he doesn't actually
No.
kill anyone.
Yeah.
It's all accidents. But yeah, he brings the body back, starts chopping it up, and Mushnick sees it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before that, he's like having all the bodies like falling.
I
down
love
the
that he's just
stairs.
like walking
And they're
through the
still
city. It's just like going down the stairs. Boom, boom, boom.
Orin hit rigor mortis very fast 'cause he's like stiff as a board, and like he still has like the dentist tools in him because like the little mirror falls out of the bag.
I like that it's just like going down the street. Like he's
Yeah.
not trying to hide it or he's just dragging him
To
down
be
the
fair,
corner.
with Skid Row, I bet you people are like, just
Tuesday.
another Tuesday.
Yeah.
Seymour feeds Audrey too all the pieces of Steve Martin.
I love the laugh. Yeah, because Audrey 2's like, chop it up.
Yeah, can't eat it whole except later.
Well, he wasn't big
but he's
enough
not-
yet to eat it whole.
He's only
Yeah.
powered by 25 people. That's not enough
But,
space. No.
but I do like the next morning you pointed out, like, he's not asleep. Like,
Yeah.
he's just sitting next to his
There's
bed.
a deleted scene where it shows him waking up. It looks like it was a dream sequence. I think that this is a better option because I would not be able to sleep after doing that.
What did they do in your
I wouldn't.
version?
I don't get woken up.
Oh.
I just kind of get.
I think it just cuts to
It just cuts to it.
It's the end of Act 1.
Yeah, because that's the end of the first act. Because it's like, oh, it's the climax of that. It's like, oh, it's murder.
Also, Mushnick's an idiot for not calling the police.
Well, that's Skid Row. They're not going to come.
Well, and
True, but
also, it plays into what happens later. There's a reason.
yeah,
he doesn't call the
but
police.
also, that's true. But like, it's like also like this is the most successful flower shop in the most successful place in this neighborhood.
Yes.
Do you think the police would be like, well, we like that plant, and that guy's killing people for some reason? So says the owner. Well,
But then Audrey 1 regrets her dating decisions, and she sees Seymour suddenly, which leads to the song "Suddenly Seymour."
He's right beside her.
He's right beside her.
Yeah, like she's upset because they suspect foul play. But I mean, what did I write down?
Because her whole thing, she's like, oh, it's my fault because I wished him to die.
Yeah.
So she has like really bad guilt on
Yeah,
it.
she thinks that he was the only man for her. Like she deserved it.
Yeah, because
But she's also very happy. She's like, it'd be a miracle if you just disappeared, but foul play.
Yeah, because she feels guilty. She feels
Yes.
guilty because like she wished for this to happen. So
And then it happened.
In an indirect way, it's her fault.
Yeah.
If she never wished for him to die, he wouldn't have died. Because she doesn't. She's a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she did meet him in the gutter.
The gutter.
Did
I
Steve
used
Martin
to wear
deserve to die?
cheap
Probably.
and tasteless outfits, not nice ones like this.
And it's like a cheetah jacket.
Every single dress she has,
Like tits are out, like that
is
nice
like
ones
I'm
like
like she's
that.
gonna
Like squish.
burst out of that dress. Jesus. No, but this song, she's amazing.
Yeah, this
Suddenly
is
Seymour.
probably my favorite song in the whole show,
Yeah.
in the whole
I
musical.
mean, my favorite's Feed Me, but like this is up there
No,
with them because
but-
like the way she belts those
Yeah,
notes,
'cause-
I'm like, oh my
Because
god.
to me, this is almost the climax of the emotional point of the story to me.
After this, everything just goes downhill.
Yeah, because this is like the last time that they're able to be happy.
Yeah.
Seymour finally gets with Audrey.
Well, depending on which version you're watching.
Correct.
And
well, they get to be together for now.
Yeah.
then he's a big celebrity now. They want to do shows with him and all this stuff. They even set up the cameras in his shop without letting him know.
No, you skipped over a scene.
What did I skip
You
over?
skipped over the supper time. That thing.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, we've got
No,
I
no,
would-
no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
No.
no.
yeah.
Mushnik gets eaten.
Oh, wait,
before
I
then.
did.
How
I
dare
did.
you? How dare you accuse me of my
Sorry,
favorite movie?
sorry.
We're keeping that in.
Mushnik confronts Seymour. I looked it down too far at the notes.
How dare you?
He confronts Seymour, and Audrey too is excited because it's supper time.
I think it's supper time.
Yeah, because this is when Mushnik is like, "You killed him. I saw you chopping
I saw
up."
you chop him up.
Little red dots all over the floor.
And he's going to open the
That's
door,
Yeah,
and then he's like, "Well, actually."
yeah. So this is why he didn't call the cops.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna let you out of here, but let me know how to feed the plant so I can take care of it."
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just wants the money.
Seymour's kind of responsible for this one.
Well, in the musical, from what I remember at least,
Yeah.
is that he's like, I put the money from today's earnings in the plant, and he's like, go in there, Mushnik. And Mushnik's like, where is it? Ah!
Because in the musical, it's not like how do you feed him?
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
like,
that
"Here's
is
the-"
they reworked that from the original.
Yeah.
Like Mushnik knows that the plant eats people, and some guy robs the store, and he's like, "Where's all the money?" He's like, "In the plant, buddy." So
I don't
yeah.
think he knew, but in this one, he doesn't know that the plant eats people.
No, he doesn't.
No.
No, he just thinks that Seymour killed him to be with Audrey.
He's afraid
Yeah.
of like when he's like, you gotta water it, yeah, and give him minerals.
But-
Also, I did a
Seymour's kind of leading him to his
yeah.
death.
He's pushed him back.
Yeah, because he keeps getting closer and closer, and
Yeah.
Mushnik's like stepping back and back.
What the hell is?
And then
this?
Audrey too eats him.
Oh my god.
His little feet are like wiggling,
the little,
which is pretty
little
funny.
slurp.
Kosher.
Yeah. I also did a scene study of this in college.
Yeah.
And I was like so confident. I'm like, yeah. So when in this scene, you're not looking over Mushnik's shoulder. You just see Seymour because he's focused on himself. Blah 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 blah. And it just turns out that wasn't the case. They had to like change up like who was in what scene because they couldn't stop laughing at each other.
But yeah, he gets eaten. Now Seymour is a celebrity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is when the guilt really starts to pile up on
Yeah.
him. And you can... And Rick Moranis does a great job of being like a paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the
Paranoid,
best singer in this movie. I'll say that. He's not the best singer, but
He's
like he
fine.
does good portraying
He
the
does well.
emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now Audrey too is gigantic
Yeah.
and falls over.
That song that they sing, "Meek Shall Inherit,"
Yeah.
is actually extended. It's in neither cut, but it's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's like a whole dream sequence
Oh,
that's shown.
Yeah.
And
I need to check that out. I
and
didn't see
yeah,
that one.
it's he wants to destroy the plant, but he doesn't. He doesn't because he's like, it's the only thing that Audrey loves me for, so he thinks. So yeah, that's
Yes.
It's so yeah. It's
That is
that's
what he
it. That's
thinks.
it.
But yeah, he kicks everyone out. He goes to talk to Audrey one. And he's like, "We'll get that check and we'll skip town." She's like, "I love you no matter what."
You're talking weird. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you're talking weird. And then he like
You're
explains
talking weird
things.
again,
And then he's
Seymour.
like, "That evil plan." She's like, "You're talking weird again."
Yeah, because he just goes off on tangents because
Yeah.
he's the only one that knows the plan is alive.
Yes.
Also, when
The
he's
only
yelling
one
at
at this
everybody,
point.
she does the best slap. She's like, "Seymour, you're acting strange.
Leave me alone! You're hysterical.
But yeah, he tries to escape, unbeknownst to the plant. But
Tough titties.
Audrey 2 sees. I don't know why he thought he'd get away. Like, Audrey 2 doesn't have eyes.
But I think he can.
Yeah,
he
tough
knows.
titties. I love that.
It's such a good line.
Tough titty.
Well, also not in my musical version, unfortunately.
What did you say? Tough
Tough.
titty?
I don't even think they said it.
Tough luck. I don't know.
Probably
What
tough
about
luck
dog
would make the
diggity?
most sense.
Dog. Tough
No,
dog.
friggin'
diggity.
Hot diggity dog.
So Mince Out is trying to curse less in her videos.
Right.
She's doing a great job. But she pretended to be me on a live stream. And by be me, they have that towel with my face on it on their wall.
Yeah.
She runs behind the towel and just wiggles it and pretends to be me. And he's like, her impression of me is, oh, I'm very famous Tony from Hack the Movies. Oh, dog diggity. I'm like, what? When did I start saying dang diggity dog? Like, what the fuck?
Sounds like she's
You
an
don't remember
episode
you
of Rick
always
and
say
Morty.
that. I should know I
It's
edited
like,
videos.
I'm known for saying, oh, yeah, dog diggity dog.
Tony Dog Diddy Dog from Hack the Movies.
Dog diggity dong. Tony from Batman.
Yeah.
Dog diggity.
So Audrey 2 is begging for meat. And he's
Yeah.
like, I'll get you some animal meat. And it's like, fine.
Yeah.
But then
Also, this plant is controlled by 60 people.
Yeah.
60.
60.
Yes.
Around that much. If you watch the behind the scenes, again, it's 12 frames per second. But they look like they're on like exercise machines.
Did you say 12 minutes per second?
12 frames.
12 frames.
Oh, I thought you said 12 minutes per second.
When you look
Nope.
at it, it feels like 12 minutes because these people are just like moving levers, moving things, and you're just like, oh, and it's 12 feet tall.
Yeah. I like that it knows how to use the phone.
Probably
It
watch
gets the
someone
change
do it.
out of the register.
Yeah.
And I like that it's
someone
even like twirling the cord. And I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's like having a
He has,
everyone always
like,
used to do that on
three,
their phones.
three of its vines are just like tapping away.
like waiting for him to pick up. Like, come on.
But so I misremembered it as we were watching. I thought he like tricks her into coming over, but no, he's literally like, look across the street. He's like in the window.
Like,
like,
Also, I was like watching. I'm like, wait a minute, why didn't she just like tell Seymour? Because maybe she in her head she's like, Seymour doesn't know about this. I bet I gotta tell him. But instead, she just goes over and she's like,
Well,
oh
if you're the first thing I would think of if a talking plant said, "Hey, look across the street. I'm talking to you on the phone," would not be to tell my friends. I would go right over there.
yeah,
I'd be like, I gotta check this out for myself.
I would run away.
Is this punked?
I would run. I would run away. I'd be like, oh, that's the devil. Not going there.
It is the devil's lettuce after all.
Bye. Oh, I'd get the hell out of there. No.
But I understand it because, like, especially Audrey, because she's kind of ditzy.
Yeah. He tries to eat her.
yeah, this is the scene where the two cuts start to differ.
This
we'll
is
get into
where
the
it
other
goes.
one.
Yes.
We'll get to the
Audrey
other one
2 goes to eat Audrey 1, but Seymour shows up just in time.
to save the day.
He saves her, and then the lesser Belushi interrupts their singing. And I love that he actually, like, usually in musicals, they don't call out that they're singing. And I love that they go to do Suddenly Seymour again. He's like, hey, can I just interrupt your song for a minute? I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's early fourth wall breaking
We also
there for
find
young
out.
Tony.
We also find out here that Audrey never cared for the money. She just loved him since the moment she
Yeah.
met him at the store, and yet she still dated that dentist.
Because she didn't deserve him.
Yes.
True.
I don't think she did.
I
Okay.
don't deserve Rick Moranis, I'll tell you that.
But yeah, he's like, hey, we want to get some leaflings from Audrey 2, and we want to make more Audrey 2s.
It'll be bigger than hula hoops.
But yeah, he tells him to leave, and he's like, oh my God, I got to kill this plant.
He's like, I can't let, because he's like, this was the master plan all along.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
To make
They're gonna
more
take
plants.
over the world. Who would have guessed?
Yeah. It eats people. Probably normal.
Oh, I forgot to mention, did I mention, the original plant wasn't an alien in the original movie.
It was just,
I looked it up.
It was
It-
just a plant.
Well, it's a joke that's lost on modern audiences, I heard from the trivia. Because he said, I got it from the plantation next to the cranberry farm. And at that point in time, there was like a problem with cranberry crops. They were using some pesticide that was like poisoning them or something.
huh.
So it's kind of like a reference to what was going on. Like people were afraid of like what was the chemicals in the plants.
Oh, like the
Wow.
chemicals and the pesticides or whatever would turn it
Yes.
into a mutant plant.
Yes, but like it's, if you don't remember that story, if you didn't live through it, you're like, what? Okay.
At least with most audiences.
Man, all the viewers who were alive in 1960 are just screaming at their computer.
Yeah.
They're right. They're
right
sitting there.
now.
They're like, I got the joke. I was there.
I had a
all
plan like
one of
that.
Yeah, so he goes to confront Audrey too, and then we get
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, we get Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, which is my favorite song.
Which is a movie original, not in the original play.
Nominated for best
but
song.
It's really good.
The only nominated song at that time that had profanity in it broke new ground there.
Wow.
No, I love this song.
So
I love the little buds going, I've seen some YouTube videos where like high school productions do that, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I did like the little the
little buds.
The little buds because this version doesn't do the faces in the flowers.
Yeah, because that's
how it ends.
Original and in some of the musicals.
Yeah, I think the musical ends with their faces in the flowers too.
Or they're dressed up as plants and they're just like, don't do it.
But yeah, they I like them just backing up Audrey too.
Yeah.
Backup
it's like the instead of the three girls, it's the three buds.
I will say that this song is way different compared to all the other ones. It's just out of left field where he's just like, I'm bad, you know it, and I'm gonna destroy you and your testicles and you better watch out.
So and it's cool seeing Audrey use a gun. I think he uses a gun.
Yeah, he
like shoots him at Seymour's feet, so he has to like dance.
Yeah, but I have it here. When I was a kid, this was the first and to date the only time I was ever concerned about the well-being of Rick Moranis' balls. I remember seeing that being like, oh shit, he better watch out.
Man, thank God it wasn't his eye.
My eye fear hadn't. I don't think my eye fear was developed yet.
Your ball fear was, though.
Or maybe it was. Maybe I did see Demolition Man at that point. I don't know. But ball fear is just
that's always there.
All of us. In all of us.
It's true.
I can't relate.
It's the worst fear imaginable.
Yes.
Think of getting cornered by your worst nightmare.
Balloons popping.
Not even close to how intense that is.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Balloons popping?
I have a fear of balloons popping.
Okay.
It used to be spiders, and then I
used to be. Now, what if a spider pops a balloon?
Oh,
does that like cancel it out?
Arachnoballoonophobia.
I gotta tell it off camera. Me and Johanna have a funny story about balloons.
I don't like where this is going.
It doesn't involve us. It involves someone we know.
So I'm backed into a corner with a balloon popping. Wait, did you forget? Whatever.
Anyway.
It's very loud left field.
So enough about balls and balloons and spiders. I love the song. Audrey too looks amazing here. He crumbles the building around them.
Yeah, like the building just gets destroyed.
Laughing while he does it.
Bye, Seymour.
Yeah, and laughing while he does it, but Seymour heroically picks up the high voltage wire and
with his bare hands, by the way.
With his bare hands, electrocutes him, and we get the nice, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
And then it explodes.
And I was telling her, I think the explosion is the Death Star explosion.
No.
The original Death Star explosion.
It looks like it.
Because the sparks even kind of move, because I've seen that original Death Star explosion so much.
It kind of like it moves in like the sphere like the Death Star does.
Also, it explodes,
but even like how the sparks kind of like blow to the side. I feel like that's from, I have to play them, the original version back to back.
I mean, I'm going to slow it down anyway, because like he explodes and the plant's just gone.
It just disappears. It's like just in Ninja Turtles 3 when the guy's falling down.
It just disappears. So yes, I want you to play the Death Star original. We have the old tapes backed up. Original Death Star explosion and Audrey 2's explosion. Okay? And then I want you to take Audrey 2's explosion and add the ring effect that they added in the special edition.
Or are we going to create Little Shop Special Edition?
Yeah. It's called...
and that's the only change?
Little Shop of Star Wars.
It's called the Praxis effect.
Oh, I was
because
gonna say,
it came from Star Trek 6.
I like mine better. Little Shop of Star Wars.
Anyway. I'm shocked that wasn't done on like Muppet Babies or something. I feel like that's
honestly, that feels like a very good like Muppet Babies like parody.
So Audrey 2 is defeated and they live happily ever after.
Hooray!
Except that there's a baby Audrey 2 in their garden, which is not so much of a threat because it's like
they know how to not take care of it.
Yeah, because Rick Moranis is just gonna hit it with a lawnmower.
That's true.
But I guess it's just to show that more landed, and now it's like maybe they'll come back. And I just think this is a feel good ending. If I was a test audience and saw this ending, I'm like, that made me feel good and happy, and I love it. And I would have went to the director. I'm like, I was afraid he was gonna die, and I'm glad that it didn't happen. What was the other ending, guys?
Well,
walk us through it.
Well, first of all, I gotta show the camera this. These are my notes. I have 5 pages of notes. I don't know if you can tell. I have 2 columns here to differentiate the different endings. I hit the microphone.
That's okay.
It's all right. So instead, I have it comparing the two. So when Audrey 2 is laughing in the original one, like when she sees it, he says the way you can tell the difference is when he says, "Come and join your dentist friend and Mushnik." They're right inside. And then she looks a little more horrified when she screams.
Yeah.
Like there's like this one shot where she's like, ah! Like really bad.
Okay.
And then when you actually see her wounded, she doesn't get up. She's not moving when.
Oh yeah, when he pulls her out, she falls,
Yeah,
and then she gets up. But yeah.
But no, when she pulls her out from like the plant's mouth in the theatrical one, she just gets up and runs out. This one, he's like dragging her, and she has wounds all over her body.
Ugh.
Oh, not really all over, but like on her stomach. The same thing happens where it's like, "Are you okay?" "Yes." "No." Falls over. And then she asks to be fed to the plant so she can always be with Seymour.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in my
Then she
version,
sings Somewhere That's Green again.
Yeah, Somewhere That Green, but it's like sad and like sad.
Oh. Well,
so the song from before, it comes back around. She's going Somewhere That's Green.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, what is
Yeah.
Jim Belushi doing during these part?
He's not in this part.
He's
not. It's Paul Dooley. I don't know who that is.
So they replaced him with Jim Belushi.
Well, because he couldn't come back when they had to reshoot it.
Oh, okay, keep going.
But after he feeds her, like he literally she just slides in the plant. He's so ridden with guilt, he runs up to a rooftop and he's gonna kill himself.
Did you jump off a rooftop?
I didn't jump off a rooftop because then I wouldn't be here.
Good. Were you off in the dark sweeping again?
In my version, I had to feed my ex-girlfriend Audrey into the plant. Very cathartic.
They were like, "Ian, you're not supposed to be smiling during the scene." You're like, "What? Well, I'm crying." Wow.
Tears of joy. She's going somewhere that's
for the first three shows of the 4, it was all fine. And then the 4th show, she decided to not help lift herself up.
Oh, so she deserved it.
So she was just all dead weight, and I'm like, oh my god. And I look strong. I'm not. So I threw her into the plant, and I was so weak at that point because it was 4 straight days of doing like Little Shop.
Fair.
And I just was over it, so I just threw her in. So I don't know if that's the one that's filmed.
Okay.
But if it is, you can see me instead of like gently like placing her in, I just like
we'll check the tape.
toss her
Now, how does your character die though?
So I'm like sad and everything. And then I'm like, I'm gonna end this. So I take some like hedge clippers.
Rat poison is, I remember it was one of them too.
Yeah.
You know it better. What am I saying?
Yeah, rat poison. It kind of depends. Like rat poison, it can be one. I think I was hedge clippers if I'm not mistaken.
Or no, maybe he used rat poison. It didn't work, and he just went.
Yeah.
Nice try.
No, yeah.
I'm thinking of the Broadway show that
exactly
I saw
what
on
it was.
YouTube that someone recorded illegally in 2012.
But I'm like, I'm gonna end this, and I jump into the mouth with the hedge clippers, and I die.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so in this one, Rick Moranis just jumps off the roof.
No, he doesn't. The guy, I guess, Paul Dooley's character, the same guy who wants to.
Not Jim Belushi.
Yeah, not Jim Belushi. Paul Dooley's from something. He was important, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know who he is. I'm so sorry, Paul Dooley, if you're still alive.
And watching this.
Of course he's watching it. Of course he is. But he's like, it's gonna be bigger than hula hoops. He's like, don't jump, kid.
Right, that's where he.
Yeah. And so then they gotta sing Mean Green Mother. It's like, this is Oscar buzz. We're keeping this in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then it's the same thing. Seymour goes in to confront the plant.
And then basically Mean Green Mother is like the same throughout the 2 versions.
Okay.
Same with the house falling down with the rubble and everything.
Yeah.
But Seymour doesn't
Yeah, Seymour
come out with the power plant. He just emerges.
Emerges from the rubble. Audrey 2 grabs him and literally just swallows him whole.
Like, and it's shot really well.
Yeah.
Like for a different ending. Like, it had a pretty good budget on
He
it.
spits out his glasses and he's like,
well, then I am assuming that like a noble hero shows up, maybe the cop. So how does it end after that?
well, the 3 urchins stand in front of the greatest flag ever, America.
Okay.
They stand in there and like, and this is why I think this is a better ending, because Seymour basically brought all these people to their deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't kill them, but it led them to it.
He's kind of responsible for Mushnick.
Yeah,
It's
he's
his
responsible for
greed.
Mushnick.
Yeah.
His
He
greed
did it.
caused
Yeah,
all of this.
yeah. It's he paid for his consequences with death, I guess. But like the whole ending song is just like the plant was sold around the world. It was bigger than hula hoops. And then the song they're saying like, yeah, there were other idiots like this guy who fed the plant. It grew. And then there's just the best scene ever that was taken out by those pussies the test audience pussies who were like, not for my children. Dumbasses.
What?
Sorry.
How big does Audrey get in this version?
Bigger than hula hoops. No,
Have you seen Lady Liberty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger than Lady Liberty.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
it's like a Godzilla King Kong thing?
The ending is literally like a Godzilla King Kong thing.
they're kaijus.
Oh my God.
It's awesome.
So the lady dies, the guy dies, and the bad guys win? God, that's too sad of an ending. I don't like that.
But they learn, it's like, don't be an idiot. You idiots. Oh.
No, if I was in that test screening, I'd be like, do it again. Don't like it. Don't like it. I want Rick Moranis to be the action hero. Can you give him a machine gun? And they're like, no, all right. Can he electrocute it?
But like, because the whole point of the show and the movie, it's a commentary on like capitalism and being greedy and
that's
all
why
that
they're
stuff.
standing in front of the
Oh no, I love capitalism. No, don't like it. I'm glad they changed it.
What I really like about what I really like about the scene though is like the way they're like saying it's like, was it Peoria?
Oh yeah,
and New York,
cause
and where you live, and then like the plant just bursts through the TV that these people are watching. This one lady's being like pulled around, like, oh my God.
It's
like,
really really cool because that song's in the original show. That's how it ends.
It's a great song,
and
the budget that they wasted. Thanks to those pussies.
They had to waste a lot of money because there's like multiple Audrey 2 plants.
There's an
climbing
Audrey 2
skyscrapers.
blowing into like a pipe and like blowing up a building. And Audrey 2 is like eating a train as it goes right into it.
This goes on for like 11 minutes.
It's
by
amazing.
The way.
I will say my dad was like, huh. Because he was just like, he's like, which ending's better? I'm like, oh, I'll play it for you. And he's like, I don't know.
No. If I was there,
the army comes and they're all like, oh shit, we can't do anything about it. As the plant goes up on Lady Liberty and it's just like, America's ours now.
Look, if I was there watching movies with you and your dad for some reason, I'd be like, no, Jess, put the theatrical ending on. I want the
real ending.
You were saying as we're watching and you were just like, the theatrical one is just like, that house is so fake. It's like they
it is a fake looking house.
Literally,
but part of me,
it's right out of a magazine.
Yeah, but part of me also thinks like, well, we have to do a new ending. We just spent all our money. Yeah, throw some blue walls up and just built the front of a tiny house.
Multiple plants.
Yeah,
or maybe it's the same plant just added in multiple times. Either way, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's really well shot, really well done.
The whole ending song is just don't feed the plant. It's that simple. It's that simple.
10 minutes of the plant taking over New York and laughing.
Yeah.
I don't like being told what to do. So I like the other. I'm going to die on this hill. I like the other ending better.
But the end is he's on the Statue of Liberty, and then all of a sudden, it looks like he burst through the movie screen.
See, I would have been, if I was the test audience, I'd be scared.
Without 3D glasses,
I'd be like, oh my God, I almost died.
It's just the end.
This movie's trying to kill me.
Yeah, it's just the end. Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, it goes off the screen.
Yeah, so it's like one of those like old 50s sci-fi, like the end.
Yeah.
My favorite, all the laughter is by Levi Stubbs.
So I listened to a podcast that was talking about test audiences. And they brought up, there's like apparently a famous story with the test audience for Rain Man. Have you seen Rain Man?
I have not seen Rain
Man.
Are you aware of what it's about?
I am aware of what it's about.
Yeah, apparently, according to this podcast, who listened to this story, apparently one of the notes from the test audience about the character Raymond was, why didn't he just snap out of it?
Oh, why didn't he just snap?
And I think from what I heard, like Barry Sonnenfeld is like, yeah, that's why I don't like test audiences.
Why couldn't they just not kill people?
Just why didn't the autistic characters snap out of it? It's like, all right, you probably shouldn't have been in the test audience for this movie. But yeah, test audiences could like screw up movies, and they did with this one. I mean, not for me. I'd love the theatrical version better because it's happy.
You would.
And it makes me smile. But yeah, no, that it's happened time and time and time again.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it now exists. Because I remember when I first heard of that original ending, I was like, no way. And then I saw the footage. I'm like, oh, that actually exists. And now it's even nicer. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you can rent the director's cut on Amazon.
Yeah.
And
I just bought
watch
the
that
DVD.
engine.
No, you can't. I tried to rent it last night and it like wouldn't let me rent it.
I
Oh,
also fell asleep watching it.
that sounds about right.
I managed to get a copy of it. I watched it really late. I'm sorry.
You're okay. You watched
They
it
have
this
both
morning.
on Amazon because
Yeah.
I rented it. from
They're
Amazon
there,
on
and then you
regular.
click how to watch, and it's like watch on the Amazon app. And I'm like,
Oh, I just watched it on
Oh,
my
yeah.
TV because I have an Amazon TV.
no, but like both. I'm just like, yeah, I'm on the app right now.
Yeah, they removed like
I'm on it right now. Like,
they removed like Amazon's getting weird right now. They removed like you can't use like buy Kindle stuff on your phone unless you
Weird.
have a Kindle.
They're coming through some tough times.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
like
Amazon.
I'm
they-
like,
I hope they
then
pull
I'll
through.
Inflation's
buy.
hit 'em hard.
I'll
I
buy
hope they
I'm like,
pull
I'll buy
Same.
real books then. I'll kill a tree. Just kidding.
I,
I'll kill a man-eating
I
plant.
hope
Save
Jeff
the day.
Bezos is doing okay.
I hope he's doing okay. I hope next time he goes to space, it won't cost that much. So I have a problem with Shudder. I love Shudder. I love Joe Bob's The Last Drive-In. And they did Little Shop of Horrors, but the image they use for the thumbnail is this. So I went to turn it on last night thinking they covered the remake, and they covered the original Roger Corman one.
Oh, well, they should use Jack Nicholson.
I know. Well, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, clearly someone screwed up and used the wrong Little
Well,
Shop of
they
Horrors.
probably just were told, hey, we're doing a Little Shop episode.
I know that.
And it's like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, here
and
you
no
go.
one caught it or anything. But I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, I thought it was the Rick Moranis one. I'm like, I'll still watch it, but like, I'm like, someone should really change that because now I got to hunt for the goddamn movie because I left the tape here. So yeah, there we go. Little Shop of Horrors. Do you like it? Do you love it? Which ending do you prefer? Let us
the director's
know.
cut.
Huh?
The director's cut.
There is only one answer, so.
There's only one answer.
And it's not Tony's.
Did you know also that they were supposed to make a remake, but it got canceled due to the pandemic?
That's a good call.
Would you like to know who the cast was going to be? You ready?
Well,
for
definitely not Ian. But anyway, keep going.
No, Taron Egerton. I think that's how you say his name.
Taron Egerton?
He is the main character of
The Kingsman.
The Kingsman.
Yeah.
He was Elton John in
No,
Rocketman.
yeah. I see it. Maybe
Yeah.
a few years ago. Maybe not now.
He was going to be Seymour.
Makes sense.
Too buff.
Scarlett Johansson as Audrey.
I feel like there's an age difference there.
Yeah. But I was
I mean-
also thinking, I'm like, another good choice for Audrey, if it wasn't Taron Egerton, Lady Gaga would be a good Audrey.
But Taron Egerton? No. Lady
no,
Gaga.
not with Taron Egerton.
No, Lady Gaga will be distracting, though.
Because you would just think it's Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she sings good. Oh no, well, Scarlett Johansson can sing. Chris Evans as Orin Scrivello, DDS.
I see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
he's
Chris
been
Evans would be
wanting
really
to
good.
play him.
He's apparently an asshole in real life, so.
Oh,
Sad.
I know
sorry,
people
Chris
know.
Evans, if you're watching this. And then Billy Porter as the voice of Audrey too.
Which one's Billy Porter?
He was in that Cinderella movie on Amazon.
No,
As the
no.
fairy god. No, he's a good singer though.
Sure,
He's
but no.
not in the movie. He's just the voice
If
No.
only they got Camila Cabello too.
to play the voice of Audrey.
Yeah.
That was,
Oh.
but then due to pandemic, it got canceled.
That's probably for the
That's
best, if we're being
Cinderella.
honest here.
Cinderella
I
movie.
wanted to see it, but knowing them, they would have been like CGI plant.
Oh, it would have totally been a CGI plan.
Yeah.
1000%.
To be fair, though, I thought the Five Nights at Freddy's movie was going to be all CGI. Apparently, they're doing the Jim Henson Company.
Oh, that's
with
nice.
all the animatronics.
That's
And I'm like,
interesting, then.
yes.
But yeah, check it out. Let us know what you think. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Feed me.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.